the things I wrote online 10 years ago. There are things I would never come out to write. We should learn respectful discourse online. I mean, criticism is different from defamation, or harmful speculation about innocent children. This child is not even online, and you bring out his child to write rest in peace, and you also talked about the paternity of this child. Ignorance of the law is no excuse, please. Let us stop all of these things and learn that we should stop harmful speculations, especially when you don't know these people.
Yeah.
For every action, there's a reaction, and you don't know the channel that person might take up in their reaction. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Susan. Ibn Abba, do you want to say something on this as well?
Yeah, the ladies have said a lot, but for me,
Mhm.
also, you see, value always adds value. So on that note, wahala will always add wahala. Like somebody commented, the person said, if you like to troll, then you should also like to stroll in Nigerian prison. So it is as simple as that. You like to troll, no problem. Make you
Go and stroll.
on social media, so many people will just take what people say as gospel.
Mhm.
So if you just keep mum and you see me different on the particular matter, that is how it is. It is like you don't know, so now the actually don't do the secret don't
Yeah.
leak. So I like what Adekunle Gold did. You remember what they did to Mercy Chinwo and a little
Oh
baby
yeah. Oh yeah.
how to start crying like a mumu and was apologizing. Meanwhile, the deed was done already. The
Yeah.
same did to what's his name now? This singer. Uh
The gospel
what-
singer.
yes, the very popular one. What's his name? What's wrong with me? The one that
Nathaniel Batty. Nathaniel Batty.
Still Nathaniel Bassey, yes.
Daniel Bassi. Same thing. And they went back to and so many other celebrities that they've done this to. So if somebody does not open this road
Hmm.
to sanity, some people will not learn their lesson. So let him go there. Let him spend 2 years is probably 18 months because a year in that language of correctional center is 9 months. So 18 months, maybe he will go there, he will come back and be the advocate of don't go and mess up on social media because you cannot keep doing this. It is getting too much. Do you know that I mentioned it last week when we were discussing Alex Kuba and
Yeah.
all about him? Because I was on JH, I go make my own contribution. I go speak my own truth. Some people on the platform will be hailing me, while some people will drag me like they really want to peel my skin off my body. And somebody who knew me started attacking those ones, and it became all heated up. You understand? So I mean that one. I mean, waiting concern me, but when you want to talk about something, you must have your facts. If you don't have your facts, okay, oh, trouble shall come. Trouble shall drag trouble.
Hmm.
Wahala shall add more wahala. So let him go there. I don't even feel any iota of show for him. Do you
Hmm.
know? Do you know that life is spiritual? Life is spiritual. As he said that thing, babies do come down with little fever and all of that. It will, you begin to look at everything in a different way.
Yeah, like is it what he said? What's going on? Yeah.
So what kind of nonsense is this? Does he know how many parents have lost their babies? And now you're coming to make such a massive statement on a baby, an innocent child who doesn't even know you, who doesn't even know whether you exist.
Mm-hmm.
I beg, let him serve as an example. Maybe that that judgment probably will bring a bit of sanity to the social media. The trolling is too much. Waiting. It's down for like Susan said, keypad warriors.
Occupy
When
warriors. Okay. I said
they
I'm
go,
going
they
to.
go back to the inside closet, then
Yes. Yeah. So I want to draw our attention to something that we need to let every listener
Mhm.
know. We can actually correct all these things on the long run
Mm.
by how we train our
Very
children.
true.
How we train our children. For me, the way I was trained, and many of us, we will not go outside, right? And a baby that is not yet dead, say, ah, ochiku,
Mm-mm.
because even in the home, when you say something wrong, when you defame somebody, immediately you get a barra, or
Yes, what
you are
fight here?
corrected.
Yeah.
You understand that no, you don't do that. Even
Yeah.
to the extent that if someone has a defect or something, you dare not talk about that person like that.
No.
So you have that consciousness in you. Then the next place is education. I hope i hope Susan and Binabo, take it back to your family. How are they coming up with the curriculum to adjust these things? How you talk, communication,
Mm-hmm.
communication. I do not know what it is right now, but I'm telling you, take it back to your family. Then the next place will also be in the church. Okay, you're taking it back to my own family. I'm not a pastor, but at least I'm a leader. I have voice. You understand? So we're able to talk this also in communication. Then the last place, which is the government, because if you have been taught all these things and you refuse to hear, then the government is there for you, because under the law, there's something about defamation. You cannot come online and defame somebody, and that is what Adekunle Gold has done. You understand? So I hope this will also teach people a lesson. But coming to where restorative justice, because I want to balance it. I don't want people to just run like that and say restorative justice. It will only happen if the victim wants it, because they
Mm,
will,
right.
yes, that is the start of it. If the victim wants it, because they will say, do you want this person to go to court, or
Yeah.
do you want to go, or maybe there is an issue of money, then they can say, okay, they want to have an alternative dispute resolution where you go and settle. Or do you want to go to restorative justice court because you want to be healed, and then they will work on the offender, the person who did it. They want to know if that person is remorseful now. Because if you're not remorseful, they will not go via restorative justice. They want to see that you are remorseful, and then they will now ask you as well that, what if this person says he wants this and this and this and this to repair the harm? Are you ready? When he says yes, then they will now go back to the victim and
Right.
say, this man is willing to restore the harm. Are you also willing? If he says yes, then they go ahead. If he says no, then it's no. But if he says, I am willing, then they will now ask him that, okay, what are the things you want this man to do for you to repair the harm? Then he can now say, okay, I want him to do this, I want him to do this, I want to do that. Like that, I'm so sorry, but I don't want people to just run with half message. While we were doing that, we did a role play. I was Sonny that went to a viewing center, Arsenal and Mayu. My club did not win. There was an argument. And as a leader, I slapped the leader of the person. And then, of course, his phone fell down. And of course, the screen broke.
Mm.
So we now started that process just for them to see how it is. They asked me, am I remorseful? I said, yes, what I did, I know it was wrong. How can I slap somebody and blah, 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 that were from they will do all that. And at the end of the day, they said, okay, if this man wants you not to go to the court, to the prison, what do you want to do to repair the harm? I said, number one, I will go to that viewing center. I will go and apologize openly to everybody that what I did was wrong. Then medical treatment, I will pay for his medical treatment. And then the screen, I will replace it. Then they now ask the victim, do you accept? Is this what you want? The victim said, I just want him to just apologize. Let him not pay my medical bill, but maybe the phone, he can give me a part of it. So for that man, all he wanted was just go to that viewing center where you disgraced me and apologize. So what this has
Publicly.
done is that publicly. So what this has done is that next time somebody that wants to slap somebody will remember that you will come back and come and apologize. If not, you go to jail. You understand? So I just wanted to put that into perspective. It's a long process. It's not as simple as I've said it, because it will be going to and all that.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Vicky. I like this conversation a lot because, sometimes you're like, again, I'm still conflicted on this because, okay, maybe I'm conflicted on it because maybe I'm looking at it from a large scale, and maybe because I was looking at it as whether it was a fast thing that happened. But I suppose that even in my house, I do restorative justice with my children. So that I see your hand.
Everybody does it.
Everybody does it
restorative
on
justice,
maybe
yeah.
a small scale, but that's like with people that not like a stranger. So then I see that your hand is up. I don't know if it was now or before.
Yes. While Mambuki was speaking, I raised my hand because she mentioned
Okay, please go ahead.
taking to our family, our church, and what have you, which I totally agree. And the last should be the government. But I also want to state clearly that some of these people, for example, Susan has educated parents, but my parents are not on social media. So they don't even know what I post. There are parents who have tried their best in raising their children. In fact, sometimes if they see what their children post out, they'll be shocked. But because those kind of posts are the ones that get reactions, they get followers. In this era of making money online, everybody would say anything just to trend, just to go viral. Some of these parents are trying their best. The churches are trying their best, but human beings will always be human beings. And that's why we're speaking directly to the people. I'm living on my own. My parents don't know what I'm tweeting. They don't know what I put up. So it's also important that while we talk of those people helping, we also need to understand that individuals, adults, if you can buy data and go online, please be responsible. Please be accountable. Drive empathy and be responsible for your social behavior. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Remember, I said that your hand is up. Before you go ahead, when you were speaking, I remember that even in the middle of all this arresting this, I think his name, Swanky, I think that's his nickname. Right in the middle of it, now we know that Adekunle Gold has come up before to say that he is a sickle cell, like he struggles with it, but he's doing things to make sure that he's better with it. Somebody who had been trolling women and who women came after his life like 2 weeks ago comes out and said, God knows what he's doing. That's why God made Adekunle Gold sick. And I was just like, you cannot possibly, like, in the middle of the fact that you're hearing that somebody is being arrested for defaming somebody, for you now come and say something unkind as far God did his big one by saying that with giving this person sickle cell. I was like, people are actually really unkind, like what Susanna said. We need to be accountable, we need to be responsible, and if the full hand of the law comes upon you, test it, collect it your full test. But yes, Ibn Abel, go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Even for that you just added, I want to say that, see, I stand to be corrected, because sometimes when I see some posts, I actually take my time to go to their page. And when you look at them, then you tell yourself, no wonder this person could write this nonsense. Because if you look at the page and you do the summation of it is that this person no get sense. But you cannot use your senselessness to come and put pain in my chest. So when you try it, you pay for it. You see, Buki mentioned school. And let me quickly remind Buki that in my I have a ministry too. Not be only you be mama for church. What's
going on here?
The woman president for my church. Okay. On a lighter note, though. So you see, in the schools, The problem we have in some schools is that when a teacher teaches topics that has to do with morals, is it from the book to the children, to the pupils, or you even exemplify what you have taught? Because a lot of times you see teachers, of course the topics are there, the curriculum is there, the syllabus, everything. You know, there are subjects where in primary school, yes, they no longer call it moral instruction, but it is under moral instruction. And they are being taught in various schools. But a teacher will come to the class and teach a topic about, let's say, be mindful of your language, be mindful of your words that you use, you know, against your friends and all of that. And then that same teacher, after some time, will be calling somebody names in the class. So you are not practicing what you are teaching. That is a problem. Then also, and you are working on that, and well, someday such teachers will meet with their Waterloo. And also, I want to also say that, like Susan said, some parents are even on social media, but they don't check anything. If you see their phone, they have all the platforms downloaded on their phone, they have all the apps on their phones, but they don't check. And even when they check, they don't particularly go to their, and some children, if you get to know, some children have their pages locked. It's private. So it's not something you can easily access. So sometimes you don't even know what your child is doing. I remember a friend of mine, she's in Europe. She said somebody's daughter showed the mother some things about her own daughter. That see what Mrs. Lagbaja's daughter posts on her wall in IG. I'll be on IG then. And she now forwarded, she told the girl to screenshot it and forward it to her. She now forwarded it to the mother. The mother went berserk. Like, and I'm alive. Because that girl kept her page locked. It's private. She has to accept it before you can access the page. So you see, there's so many things that these children are doing. And also, sometimes as a school, you load these children with a lot of moral instructions and all of that. And when they get home, they are being loaded with everything contrary. So you see, it is a struggle. This time and season that we are, it's not easy for that child that is trying to be a good child. So what I would say is parents should be more intentional, pay more attention, always endeavor to counter whatever you think, anything negative that has been downloaded in your child. Because these children, sometimes they are coming back from school, they are hanging around their friends. They are friends that are not properly trained at home. Those ones who say some things, they are struggling with that. Then down the road, some adults are saying some nonsense. They are struggling with that. And they come home and nobody is going to neutralize all that nonsense.
Mm-hmm.
It is a big thing. And I like this opening that Adekunle has brought about. Let more people be put in the correctional center. Let people know that you cannot just open your mouth, wow, or go to your keypad and begin to battle and say things that could damage human beings. So for me, a lot of work is being done, but because all hands are not on deck, that's why we still have these issues. And I tell you, Rome was not built in a day. By the time, things begin to happen, people will learn. Keep your opinion to yourself. Don't go and talk rubbish and go and spend 2 years in prison. Very soon it will be increased to 3, 4, 5 years. It depends on the gravity of the offense. So everybody should go and learn. Go and learn and please have some level of critical thinking skills in you so that you know, and then do a pros and cons. If I go and write this thing now, plenty people go come and watch. But at the end of the day, whatever gains are made, you will go and spend it in the correctional center. So you have to weigh your chances, weigh your choices. If you don't, you're on your own. I beg.
This thing, I really like the children angle we come from, because sometimes you hear what people say and you're wondering, and you came out from somebody's house. Somebody is your parent, and you're okay. But there was a day my daughter came home and she said something about her classmate. She has a new classmate, and I said, come, what happened? And I was asking, I said, you don't say that about people. So I asked her, how would you feel? How would you like it if this was said about you? And she's like, oh, I won't like. I said, you don't say those kind of things. And so that's where I agree. Like, what are you teaching? The home front, really and truly, if the home front is in shambles, in disarray, what else is left? Because the people that we see spewing really, really horrible things, I just can't. But we also know that hurt people hurt people. So is it possible that they themselves been hurt before, and now they are projecting that hurt on other people? But Shashasha, in the words of my queen Susan Ihuoma, please make sure that you are accountable. Watch what you say, and that you're responsible on social media. Because if you say anything that is wrong, or you defame somebody's character, please know that if they come and carry you, we're not going to come and bail you out, because we're shouting responsibility and accountability now. On that note, we've come to the end of today's conversation. Very, very interesting one. Love. Buki, I see your hand up. Was this before or just now?
Oh no, it
Just
was before. Sorry. I think it's before. Yeah, sorry. Yeah,
Okay.
maybe just one word.
Okay.
I tried to
Go ahead.
check this guy. He says he's creator, is sarcasm, is comedy. I think that should be regulated. You don't have
Yes.
to infringe on people's rights, even if you are doing comedy or whatever it is. Yeah.
Agreed.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for that as well. Because they'll say, "Oh, I'm cracking a joke. Can't you take a joke?" Oh no, I can't take that kind of joke. Because what I've also found is that people say what they really want to say, inside joke. So if your jokes are going to be demeaning, they're going to be disparaging, they are going to be hurtful, that's not a joke. You are just using that avenue to hurt people. But yeah, on that note, we've come to the end of today's edition of Her Lens. Catch y'all tomorrow, same time, 9:05, with the ladies of Her Lens on Her Lens on Women Radio 91.7. Up next is Radio Doctor. Do not go anywhere.